It's such a joyous album. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's wonderful to listen to. It brings you happy feelings.
Well, that's what's just. I have to pinch myself that we achieved it, because beyond people liking the songs and the production and all of that, it is those euphoric moments that people are responding to, and that's just, you know, it thrills me.
And is Euphoria what your reaction was when it went to #1 in the UK, which makes you the only artist to have #1 albums in 4 decades?
Yes, I think I'm
incredible.
the only solo female. I mean, perhaps there's bands who have done that. You know what? Why am I doing the details? I'm just going to say, yeah, I did it. Well, if someone had said to me beforehand, you know, if this album goes to #1, you will be blah, 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 I would have been a bit stressed out about it. Yeah, but the fact that that was, or that became a fact afterwards was just amazing.
It's an incredible achievement. I mean, honestly, you need to pinch yourself. I need to pinch you. We'll do something like that.
Someone pinch me.
The singles have been going gangbusters and they're absolutely terrific. But what about the songs you wrote? There are a couple there in particular, Too Much and Looking for an Angel.
Looking for an Angel was the first song, and it was my first day in the studio with Stuart Price, who was my executive producer. So I worked with other writers and producers, but he's the guy who central hub was Stuart Price. But we had our first sessions in New York, and day one in there, you know, it's a bit of a dance around each other. You've got to go, well, how do you work? How do I work? And how do we work together? But he had a kind of list of titles that you know, just to kind of jumpstart us. Yeah. And he asked me if I'd ever had a song called Angel, and I had to stop and think. Have I ever had
too many songs?
You'd think that I would have had a song called Angel, but no, I haven't. So we were looking for an angel, and we got onto the movie Barbarella. There's a character called Pygor who is the angel in that. So we sent one of the studio hands down to quickly get the DVD of Barbarella, which we had playing while we were writing it, and it was a lot of fun.
Newspaper editors have a lot of fun with the titles of your songs and making them into puns. I'm sure you've read in the last couple of days, I Should Be So Clucky.
Oh,
do you laugh? Do you go...
Look, if you can make a pun out of it, you've just got to roll with it.
I noticed another one when Danny Hadith, and I think it was the London Sun, did Oh Danny Boy.
Oh, yeah. Well, no one does it as well as the English do, let's face it.
That's very true. Yeah. They do know how to do it. Now, you were great on Hey Hey the other night. It was lovely to see you perform live.
It was truly so much fun. I didn't feel nervous. I just felt like somehow I'm home, and Daryl, you know, the fact that he managed to haul himself to the airport to greet me at 5 a.m. I really felt like, wow, you're putting everything into this and making me feel really very welcome and great to be here.
He did. You ended up on Red Faces, sitting not far from Tony Abbott with a very gorgeous gay man in between you, who he won me over. He was just fantastic. Yeah. How was that?
Well, I think no matter who is on the panel, Red Faces is always something. And let me tell you, that gong is deafening. And you would have probably seen me go like this. It wasn't for show. I was like, I don't want to hurt my ears. Yeah, interesting collection of people on the panel. But it was fun to do.
You have an incredibly large, incredibly loyal gay audience. Do you think politicians here in Australia should move forward and legalise gay marriage?
Love that. I was in Madrid just a few weeks back for their gay pride, and I wasn't fully up to date with what the situation is there at the time. So I said, so what's the marriage thing here? And they said, yeah, it's official. It has been for about 5 years. And I kind of had a pang of like, wow, that's so fantastic. And, you know, of all countries, we seem so gay friendly. I mean, look at the Olympics, for God's sake. And the world loved it. So my motto is love is love is love. That's it. A rose is a rose is a rose, and marriage should be available for whatever your sexual preference is.
Speaking of the Olympics, do you realise it was 10 years ago? What are your memories?
It just, I would say even more so than any level of panic, the atmosphere in the country at the time was, you could almost like, you could kind of reach out and hold it. It was so amazing. And I think the country was full of so much pride. And I just felt so fortunate to be part of it and to have a moment centre stage and kind of look out and see all of those, the people and the lights, and just, the energy was just insane. London's
going to have a go at it in a few years. Do you think you might be involved in that one too?
Be amazing. I don't know. I hadn't even thought about that.
I'll sow the seed. There you go. Now, Neighbours is celebrating 25 years on air. They actually have a little soiree next week. There's a Facebook site that wants Charlene to go back and pay a visit. Any chance?
I don't think, no. I don't even know how I would do that. In my mind, I think it would be, you know, if I was to join that campaign, I'd say that would be hilarious. You know, she could just kind of come and do a big handbrake, fang it down the end of the court in her overalls. But I think it would be a bit too comic to really do that. But, you know, I certainly congratulate all of them. And there's probably a decent number of people who are still, you know, I'm talking about crew as well, who are still working on that show. And to think that it got off to such a rocky beginning where it was axed by 7 and then 10 picked it up, and it's so, it really is famous in so many countries. So,
it's incredible.
You know, yay for Aussie TV.
You have snuck in an acting role recently. We saw some photos of you where you were sporting tattoos.
Yeah.
A US film, Jack and Diane, am I right?
Yeah, it's an independent film. I met the director in New York, and he asked me if I'd like to do that. And I was feeling quite radical at that time. I was feeling like, yeah, I want to do something. The whole kind of lead up to this album is, you know, photo shoots and press shoots and this and the video, and you're meant to look gorgeous and fabulous all the time. And I just thought, you know what? I really could do with a healthy antidote to that. And it only took a day of filming, so it was something that I could kind of shoehorn into the schedule, and it was fun.
I'm picturing your mantelpiece at home, and on it are ARIAs, Brit Awards, Grammy, Logies. Are you trying to make room for an Oscar?
Hell yeah! I think I am light years away from anything like that, but acting is where I started. I mean, you know, as an 11-year-old, it got into my blood, and I guess that aside from kind of a day here and a few days there on different shows, the biggest thing I did in recent years was Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And I was in the trailer getting ready, and as opposed to what it's like for me normally now, you've got all sorts of artists at music awards or whatever, and you've got all your separate rooms and your separate hair and makeup people and all of that. And so on Doctor Who, I loved it. We're all in the trailer. Everyone's kind of bleary-eyed, asleep in the morning. And you've got David Tennant there, always a nice thing, because he's so adorable.
Yeah.
And other cast members. And I just loved, I felt like, this is like my spiritual home. This is what I remember, the smell of that environment and the feeling of it, and kind of sitting with my sides and just, you know, going through my lines and becoming someone else in front of the mirror. It was just, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So, you know, if someone could knock some sense into me and say, can you just stop releasing albums, stop going on tour for a little bit, and then you could realise some of your acting dreams. It's just something that I would still love to do, and I guess, yeah, it's just a case of time. I've got to make it happen.
You do. Now, on the home front, you've been able to be introduced to a very gorgeous young man that I've seen pictures of called Ethan while you've been here.
Ethan, yeah.
Now, when I had my little girl 3 years ago, I was very keen to hand over any time there was a nappy change needed. Have you changed any nappies yet?
I haven't done the nappy duty yet, no.
Is that care of good planning?
No, I
You're
have
up
two
for
other
it?
nephews as well, so
Okay.
you know I'm au fait with all of that. But that had just taken place upon my arrival.
Well done.
Yeah. So just ease myself in.
And you couldn't
But
do
of
it
course
in
he's
this white
adorable.
frock.
I mean, like, the diddy little thing, and Chris and Danny just seem so obviously overjoyed, but very relaxed
Wow.
with him, which is marvelous.
Yeah, it is amazing to see your siblings do that, isn't it? And just absorb around them. It's so lovely. The other man in your life, Andre, how's he doing?
Yeah, a much bigger one.
There was some talk he might be swinging by Australia.
Yeah, he might do. Yeah.
He might do. That's all we're going to hear.
Yeah.
That's your business. That's perfectly fine. Now, I wanted to know, I'm wearing pink sparkle today. Could you tell? Can you pick? You've got 7 perfumes. Can you pick it when you're in a room or walking past someone on the street if
Since
they're
I
wearing
didn't
it?
give you a warm embrace, I'll do that on the way out. But it is a lovely fragrance, and it's funny. A lot of my girlfriends and girls in the office back in London, they have phases. They go back to Sweet Darling or back to Couture. I mean, they're all, I think, celebrity fragrances. They have to be of a certain quality. So I'm proud to say that they're all really good.
Well, for those who don't have smell-o-vision at home, it's got a bit of grapefruit. It's got a bit of it's really nice. It's fresh. I like it. Now, importantly, your all clear from breast cancer is coming up. It's on the horizon.
It's on the horizon, early next year. Yeah.
And you're planning to market, I understand, with a sort of a concert, a fundraising concert. Am I right?
Some kind of event. I have not decided what I'm going to do, and every time I start talking about it, my manager, who's sitting over there, is like, she's talking about it again. and I haven't talked with him about it. It's just I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this, and blah, blah, blah. So I have to figure out what we're going to do, and I guess it depends if I'm touring at that stage, because I'm not sure when I start touring. But I would definitely, I have to do something. I would say less about celebrating my 5 years, and more about thanking the people who have made that possible. And I'm talking about not only people who are part of my journey, but prior to that, people who work in research, people who have done clinical trials, people who have perhaps unfortunately paid a price and weren't as fortunate as myself and others. So it will be emotional, definitely.
I've worked on the Sydney Breast Cancer Foundation for 16 years, and the Kylie effect at our hospital, at the RPA, and the Kylie effect is something they talk about around the world, and it means young women in particular who went and got checked, and if they weren't comfortable with the response, went and got checked again.
Yes,
which
please,
is,
if you're not sure, second opinion.
Which was so crucial in your case.
Yeah.
And it's documented. It is there, the difference you made. And, a lot of women want to say thank you. So anything they can do to participate, I know they'll be keen. A bit of a party, even if it's coming along to a concert, we can all do that. Now, the ARIA Awards are coming up at the end of the year, and you've been to more than a few, and you've lugged the big pointy statues home. Any chance you might be able to make it? Again, I suppose it's when your touring is, but they're going to be at the Opera House. It's going to be a big revamp in November.
The Opera House, nice. I don't know. I was a glance over to the manager again. See,
He's given us nothing. He's not giving us an answer.
He's silent.
Yes,
he
strong
has a really
silent
good poker face, Terry. I don't know. Of course, I'd love to be there. I'll have to see what pans out. At the moment, it's tricky because I'm trying to be in so many places at the one time.
Well, the album's gone into the top 20 in the United States.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to pay some attention over there too.
I
doesn't it?
know, and I've been really guilty of just kind of popping in and out, and but for the States, you really need to be there and drive your message home. So I know there's a couple of things lined up, and I'll just, I don't know. I mean, I toured there for the first time last year, just some dates in North America, and it's funny how that's turned out to be such a great thing, because it really was from the heart. I did it just because I didn't have anything to promote, but I thought, oh, the fans here have been so patient, and I've run out of excuses as to why I've never gone there. So I bit the bullet. Might as well have just burnt wad loads of money, because I said, if I'm going to do this, I have to do it the way my shows are. No matter what the cost.
Subtle, not over the top at
nothing
all.
A lot, you know,
nothing.
banjo and a stool. And I think that really has resonated through the States, and I guess it took that for them to kind of have me back in their what's the word I'm looking for? In their what? In their psyche, back in the spectrum.
Yeah.
Anyone got a better word?
Come into my world. Into your world.
Back on their radar. That's what I'm trying to think of.
Nice.
And also to be recognised as an artist, you have to go and perform live.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to do a bit more of that there.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that next year.
Now, one of my favourite things you do each day on Twitter, which I love, is you do shoe of the day, and you take a little snapshot of your shoes, and I then suffer shoe envy for the rest of the day, as I'm suffering today. Share.
Yes, these are a divine pair of Giuseppe Zanotti shoes.
Gorgeous. Are they the ones you had on in Ibiza?
Yes.
They are.
They are.
So they've trodden the soil of Ibiza and now here in sunny Melbourne.
A little bit of old Ibiza right there.
They are absolutely
I know, it's this thing that just started, like shoe of the day, and I don't manage to do it every day.
Well, you do it
and
enough.
when some days pass, people are like, I'm suffering, I've got withdrawals, where's shoe of the day?
Has she been going barefoot? What's going on?
Yeah, and if they know that I'm in flats, it's like, outrage. What?
I imagine that moves some shoes, and one other thing that moved off the shelves when you made a quick comment in an interview that I'm sure you didn't mean to have this impact, you mentioned Pond's cold cream. Have they sent you at least a bunch of flowers, if not a big fat check?
Actually, no, they haven't.
Incredible.
You know, hello, where's your PR department? I was asked, I was actually doing promotion for my fragrances, and someone asked me, so what products are you using at the moment? I've listed a bunch, and I said, I ran out of cleanser the other day, and one of the girls had some Ponds, which I used. But I've now moved on to something else, I'll have you know.
Oh, what's that?
It's the Organic Pharmacy Carrot Butter Cleanser.
Organic Pharmacy Carrot Butter Cleanser. Can we get that here?
I don't know, but it's all natural. As much as possible, or as often as possible,
Yeah.
I really like to use organic. And Australia's got some incredible all-natural products.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the latest one that's going to schlep off the shelves. We're going to see it.
Or you could use Vanity. Have you heard of them? They're
No,
a great
but that
Perth-based
one-
girl. Or Ren. Do really great
Yes.
things. Or Jolique.
Loves your league.
I could go on and on and on. And if the girl's got any time, she's going to go shopping and pick up some of these things.
Fantastic. You are here in Melbourne and we're at a lovely hotel, but I understand when you come here you actually stay with your mum and dad.
Oh, I'm straight home with mum and dad. They've got a big enough house that, and I didn't grow up in that house, so it doesn't have the weirdness of kind of, if I was going back to my bedroom when I was a teenager, I don't know that I would cope with that.
Would the posters still be up? Who'd be up on the wall?
Prince would be on the wall.
Okay, that's very cool.
Yeah.
That's not embarrassing at all.
No,
There are
think he's
people-
the only person I really had a poster of.
Some people have more embarrassing posters on their wall.
Oh,
than those.
sorry, and maybe Adamant, which is still not embarrassing.
Nothing the matter with that.
And he's still hot.
Yeah, he's going to come back and do something.
He's still got it, I'm telling you. As does Prince.
Yes.
So yeah, the place is big enough, and you know they're the people I want to see. So actually, another one of my nephews was brought over this morning for for babysitting time. It's just, it's so chilled out, and that's all I really want to do after work is done. Get home, get the tracky dacks on, and chill out.